CIG gave us a new ship to play around with. This is the Anvil Asgard. It's kind of like a Valkyrie variant. You can see a lot of the similarities. It's some minor changes here and there. It's still a size 4 dropship. The biggest difference is the Valkyrie is troop transport. This one is vehicle transport. And as you go to walk in the ship, you'll notice right off the bat that the interior is already much larger. It'll actually fit a tank, any of the current vehicles in the game, really. It'll also hold 180 SCU. And then going through on the wall here, you'll see there's some fuses, there's a cooler, empty spot. Not sure what they're going to do with that. Over on the right wall, we've got a fire extinguisher, a couple of the shield generators, which there are 4 of them. They're size 2. And then once you're in the ship, there's actually a couple of buttons at the back to where you can close the ramp and open the side doors as well. Each of these side doors has a little mounted machine gun that you can deploy. It'll pop out and you can grab it and start shooting. I was trying to right click to aim down the sight, but it wasn't working. I tried the other gun as well. It was still an issue. This ship does have some bugs, so this is probably just one of those. And then looking towards the back of the ship again, this is all super similar with the Valkyrie. The ladder that goes up to the top deck, and then the 2 side doors. Here when we go on the side door, we've got another cooler, there's a power generator, and then there's another shield generator, little engineering station, and a jump seat, fire extinguisher. You go back further, we got another empty cubby, a spot for some fuses, and then of course this is where you go down to the turret. And then right here is your jump drive and your QT drive. Another little empty spot. I don't know what they're going to use these empty spots for, but I'm sure they're going to do something down the road. Again, another power generator, shield generator, cooler, and then you got another jump seat right here. And then climbing up the ladder, you got to be a little careful right now because there is a bug where the ladder can potentially kill you. I'm sure they will get it fixed. But as soon as you go off to the right, you've got your little bed area, the 2 bunk beds. They've got some TVs in there. And then going back around, this entire area, you cannot jump down. It's a glass panel. If you cross over here to the other side, that's where you got your bathroom, your shower, your toilet, your sink. Right around the corner from that, you've got your food processor. Then you got your weapon storage. Looks like you can get plenty of weapons in there, even some larger ones. Across from that, I'm fairly certain these are going to be suit lockers of some sort. And then when you head back up to the cockpit, it's all still pretty standard compared to the Valkyrie. You have your fire extinguisher. You can lock these doors, so it's a little bit of a security thing. And then right here is another little empty cubby for something. And then here is just showing the cargo grid if you have it fully loaded. It's 180 SCU, and you can still fit an Atlas with it. So if you want to optimize it, it can hold 4 32 SCU containers, 24 2 SCUs, and 4 1 SCUs, and that's how this configuration is right now. Now, if you're going to do contracts, you're going to be mainly just doing 8 SCU containers. So with that, you can fit 16 8 SCU containers in this ship. Additionally, just showing here that you can drive the Nova up into the ship. It's kind of weird because the 2 top guns on the Nova, you'll see it kind of goes through some of the geometry of the ship here, but it doesn't actually do anything. So it works. I've not seen a problem with it, although I will say the Nova is very glitchy right now. Now, taking a look at the outside of the ship, you do have 6 size 3 weapons that are pilot controlled. It's kind of like a triangle of fire around the cockpit. You've got the 2 on the top, and then there's going to be 1 right underneath, right under the chin, right above the manned turret. And then when we're looking at the man turret, that is going to be dual size 4 guns. It comes stock with the CF447 Rhinos. And stock, that outputs about 588 or 589 DPS. And then another cool thing with this ship is it has kind of a bespoke missile rack on the top where it holds 16 size 3 missiles. And in total, those all put out just a little over 40,000 in damage. And then here, just kind of showing how this handled doing an HRT. I took it, went and found out this was against a Vanguard. And you can kind of watch here and see how the ship handles that. One thing you'll notice is, although we have the 6 size 3 guns and we can put in some good damage on the ship, the capacitor tends to run out pretty quick and it's having a hard time keeping up. I have all my points into the capacitor for the guns and it can get up to a little over 100 shots, but they go so quick. Some people have said that you can take the guns off the manned turret and it'll actually bump up the capacitor for the pilot controlled guns. So that's just something to keep in mind. And again, this was also just released, so they may bump it up in a future patch. There's not really a whole lot to go over with this ship, and the interior is fairly simple, basic. So just laying out some pros and cons here. As far as the pros, you do get the 6 pilot controlled size 3 guns. You have 4 size 2 shield generators. The ship can fit any current ground vehicle in the game. Now, that's not to say that they're not going to come out with something in the future that just won't fit or won't go in comfortably. But currently you can fit any of the land vehicles in there. Also, a quick note, you can also fit a golem. Someone I've seen tried that. Additionally, it holds 180 SCU, so if you're needing a little bit of a hauler, and that includes 4 32 SCU containers. Now, as far as the cons, this ship definitely has the drop ship tax. It's a $350 pledge price, and that's a lot considering what you're getting from this ship. Now, the quantum fuel is lacking. I found that after doing 2 jumps within Stanton, it had to have a refuel. I couldn't go anywhere else without it. Also, the cargo grid utilizes a lot of smaller boxes, so you can get those 4 32 SCUs in there, but then you're also having to do 24 2 SCUs and 4 1 SCUs. And if you're manually loading, that could be a little annoying. And then the last thing here to touch on is the capacitor just doesn't really hold a whole lot for the guns. I felt like I was really struggling to keep up shots doing that HRT. Now, as far as like final thoughts or maybe other considerations, this ship being at $350, if you need a ship that's going to be able to transport a tank or other ground vehicles and you've got some store credit laying around, I don't see a problem going with it. I think it's a good ship. It was fun to fly, but it's just $350 is a lot for what the ship can offer when there's other ships out there that can do a lot of what this one can. But if you're looking for an all-rounder, a daily driver, something that can do some cargo, do the vehicles, and you don't have many other ships, maybe this is a good one to consider. As far as other considerations, if you already have another ship that can be like a daily driver for you and your main thing is you want to transport vehicles, it might be worth bumping up another $50 to get to the $400 mark of the C2, which is going to hold a lot more vehicles and it'll do a ton more cargo. Additionally, you won't run into that quantum range issue with the fuel that you will with the Asgard. Now, if cargo is your main concern, you could look at something like a Starlancer Max, which will hold 6 32 SCU containers, and that one is going to be $100 less at $250. Or if you are leaning more towards like an all-rounder style ship, you can do a Constellation Taurus, which will hold not as many 32 SCU containers, but still a good amount of cargo, has lots of pilot firepower, and can still hold a vehicle if you wanted it to. Although that vehicle will be limited to something more like an Ursa or something similar to that. It's not going to hold a tank. Overall, this is a fun ship. It's just that $350 price tag is a very hard pill to swallow with the other options that exist out there. Anyways, I hope this has been helpful. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And feel free to check out my website or hop in the Discord. I'll talk to you later.